Good, great, and glorious day to you, co-creators. This is your boy, Corey Creech, the Ascending Master, and I want to thank you all so very much for joining me here on my channel. I thank you for the continued support, the love, the likes, the shares, and the subscriptions. It is much appreciated. Today, I'm going to bring forth an astrological message for the sign of Libra. Libra, sun, moon, rising, and or Venus. Every bit of me wants you all to first receive a message from your ancestors as it relates to what it is that they will have you focus on in the now, followed by what is currently going on in your energy, situation, and life that is having your ancestors guide you in the direction and the path that they are guiding you. Last but not least, we will find out what will take place in the future if you heed the messages from your ancestors. What can you be on the lookout for? What can you expect in your tomorrow, in your upcoming near future? So let us go ahead and begin. Spirit ancestors, what messages do you have for the sign of Libra, sun, moon, rising, and of Venus? What messages can you provide us in the now for our lives? We thank you, we honor you, and we adore you. Beautiful. Upskill. Every bit of us who are being guided to sort of kind of work on our craft, on our career, put forth every bit of the effort into what it is that we want to be doing for a living. Getting through the crossroads, the difficult times. There's a need to pass on and along your knowing, your teachings, aiding the youth, telling stories, giving insight, clarity. Perhaps there's a message here for one to spend time with their children, around their children, aiding to who and what their children become. Your ancestors are guiding you to spend more time in nature, to find the needed strength, willpower, determination, and dedication to open up your heart chakra, to love again, to get to a sense of purity, oneness. Perhaps there are rituals that you can begin to cultivate in your life surrounding the new moons and or full moon cycles. Perhaps there are rituals and traditions that you want to envelop, develop with your children, with those in your community. Perhaps there's some form of ritual that you could pass down to your children. Perhaps you know something with regard to hidden knowledge regarding to nature and or perhaps nature spirits, elves, fairies. Your ancestors are guiding you to bring yourself back into alignment with self, to ground yourself, to connect with Mother Gaia. Thank you, ancestors. Any other messages for my Libras? Yes. You are also being guided, Libra, to open up and develop your spiritual gifts, your psychic abilities. There's a need to protect yourself psychically, meaning from attacks that people are speaking over your life, right? And this could be from as ordinary as somebody saying you ain't never going to be anything to someone who is meticulous about knowing your dreams and desires and every bit of doing work behind the scenes to stop them from manifesting and or coming into fruition. You have respect your physical body. There's a need to detox and rejuvenate. There's a need to kind of relax and release, let go of the stressors of the world, the burdens that you were once carrying. Every bit of you are being guided to enjoy the new beginnings. Embrace your inner gypsy. This is a energy of freedom, of releasing oneself and finding the joy in the unknown, right? Finding the joy in the fact that you are aware that you even have a new beginning before you, that you have the ability to start again, right? Every bit of this energy, this guidance is all for you, Libra. Every bit of you who is deserving of celebratory moments, of a new social setting and or environment. Every bit of you who is deserving of a beautiful and or joyful change in your life, right? It's one thing for us to always have to prepare ourselves and or be aware that change is going to come. But not all change has been pleasant. Not all change has been butterflies and roses, right? Like every bit of us has struggled a great deal, and your ancestors are guiding you to understand that in this new beginning, it is the mindset, it is how you choose to think over the situation that will allow for you to step into a new energy, that will allow for you to embrace this new beginning with clarity, with a renewed sense of self, with every bit of heightened gifts and abilities, with understanding that you don't need to have control and or a destination in mind, as long as you are present in the moment, enjoying every bit of the journey, knowing you are guided on the right path and you are every bit of where you are meant to be. This is absolutely beautiful. Thank you, spirits, ancestors, spirit guides. Now let's find out, Libra, what is going on in your life and or currently in your energy that is causing your ancestors and or spirit guides to lead you, guide you down this particular path. We thank you, we honor you, and we thank you now. Spirit, give us some clarity and insight on what my Libras are currently going through and or causing their ancestors to guide them along this path. All right, we got the world. Something has come to an end, a completion of a cycle. Something that has repeated itself time and time again. Perhaps it is a cycle that runs throughout your bloodline, throughout your family, throughout generations that you could teach to your youth, teach to the nieces, the nephews, the young ones of the lineage, right? Let them know and give understanding of the lesson of their generation so that they can honor what their ancestors have overcome. Every bit of the Nine of Swords in the reverse speaks of someone who is coming out of this depleted, defeated, and or lack thereof mentality. This is someone who is no longer having to lose sleep over the choices, decisions, and actions they made. Perhaps this is someone who has found themselves forgiving themselves and healing their past wounds, traumas, and or afflictions caused and or taken on, right? This is the energy of someone who is beginning to find rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, and sleep. Spirit, what else is going on in the lives of my Libras that is causing their ancestors and spirit guides to guide them along this path. We have the Three of Wands in the reverse, someone who is no longer sitting idle and waiting, someone who wants to come out of conflict and or this defeat mentality, someone who is no longer standing in their own way, right? Again, this whole Nine of Swords in the reverse, someone who has released negative thought patterns and negative or low vibrational thoughts in general, not only over other people, but over themselves, right? Someone who perhaps felt like they always had to fight to get what they wanted and where they wanted to be. Spirit, give us some more insight on the lives of my Libras. Yes, we thank you. This is the Eight of Swords. Someone who is in a mental prison, right? So you were in a mental prison and every bit of you is being guided out of that. Every bit of you is being shown why, how, and or what has caused you to be stuck, locked, and or confused in your mind based on life choices and or things that has perhaps come upon you. Yes, we thank you, we honor you, and we adore you now. We have the King of Swords in the reverse. This is the energy of someone who I feel like no longer wants to be more logical, this is someone who does not want to be mind over heart, right? This is someone who is seeking balance with their emotional stability. This is someone who is choosing to understand the importance of having a balanced mind, body, and spirit. This is someone who is not wanting to be manipulative. This is someone who perhaps is no longer wanting to go after the truth, no longer putting forth energy and effort in seeking out the truth. This is someone who is choosing to defend the glorious options life has to offer, someone who chooses to defend themselves amongst others, amongst their past, amongst the people, places, and things they once held to great regard, to high esteem. And so every bit of this energy is of the past, though, right? So this is something that recently transpired. Every bit of you, Libra, completed a cycle that certainly had you caught in your mind, locked, stuck, causing yourself to go through sleepless nights. Every bit of someone who always felt and or found themselves competing and or fighting, wanting to compare, waiting for the results of every bit of a manipulative, thought out, conniving plan, right? Like this is someone who has fought their way through right? This is someone who perhaps due to their own thoughts, self-limiting beliefs, cause themselves to get stuck. So it's kind of like an excuse me to all of my beautiful and glorious divine counterparts, loved ones who are listening to this video. It's as if you have found yourself realizing that you are repeating the errors, you are mirroring the mistakes, the misconceptions of your so-called counterpart, right? So if your counterpart perhaps wanted to compete against you, wanted to always fight and or have you competing, wanted to keep you in your head, losing sleep over the thoughts and or tribulations of life, this reading states that you overcame, reflecting back unto that person what they put unto you. So it's like, instead of you fighting back, instead of you losing the battles, instead of you waiting for things to happen, instead of you losing sleep, it's as if you did not allow any of that to faze you. But it certainly kept you energetically on that situation, on that experience. Now you have defended yourself. You have stood your ground. You have set the boundaries. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy here. You've gone through great lengths to find yourself where you are, Libra. Every bit of you needs to stop, acknowledge every bit of the journey you've gone through, every bit of the work you've put in, every bit of the accomplishments that you found yourself completing, achieving, succeeding in. This is an energy of you knowing that you are leading the pack, knowing that you are leading every bit of the people in understanding who you are, what you are. This is beautiful, beautiful energy here. Let's find out, Libras, what will take place if you heed these messages from your ancestors, from your spirit guides regarding what it is that you should be focused on. What will be the outcome if our Libras, heed the messages from our ancestor spirit? We have the 9 of Seas already. The first card, joy. Absolutely beautiful. The 9 of Seas. And this speaks of joy after having suffered, after having gone through great hardship, after having perhaps being betrayed and or backstabbed. This is someone who is experiencing the joy of life independent, solo, by themselves. Not that they cannot be in a partnership, but this is speaking of someone who overcame someone trying to sabotage and destroy them. Every bit of you is being guided to clear and cleanse your sacral chakra. I am a loving and creative being. This is your second chakra, the lower abdomen. Every bit of the color that is associated to this chakra is water. The element that is associated to this chakra, the color associated to the chakra is orange, and the element is water. The function of this chakra is creation, creativity, emotion, sexual energy, and relationships. You are being asked to clear and cleanse this chakra, Libra. Associated parts of the body would be the reproductive system, the bladder system, the uterus for women, and the prostate for men. Every bit of a balanced understanding will be the ability to embrace change, to maintain healthy boundaries, passion, creativity, and emotional intelligence. Things that could become overactive in this area: addictions, obsessive attachments, mood swings, overly sensitive, emotional dependency, instability, lack of personal boundaries. Things that would be underactive that you perhaps would need to pay attention to: rigidity in body or beliefs, fear of change, emotional numbness or insensitivity, lack of desire or passion, excessive boundaries. Crystals that bring balance to this particular chakra would be the carnelian, tiger's eye, tangerine quartz, or sunstone. This is the sacral chakra. Beautiful. And I feel like having done and or being guided to listen to your ancestors, every bit of this part of your life will balance out. Every bit of your relationships, your creativity, your emotional stability, all those things whereby perhaps we're out of balance, out of whack, unfulfilled, every bit of that is coming in to play. You will receive all that is due from the conflicts that were brought upon you and or that you overcame, that you found yourself victorious over. Every bit of the mindset that you have now released. So again, if you found yourself stuck on the past, on a person, place, or experience, whether you release the person in that experience or not, because your thoughts are geared and or given to that situation, to that experience or person by way of you spending time in your day thinking of it, is causing and or feeding the energy of that person, of that experience, of that lesson, whether learned or unrealized, right? And so you being guided to sort of kind of teach what the lesson is of the family, or teach what it is that you have learned throughout your journey and experience to the kids, and finding yourself connecting with Mother Nature, releasing negative thought patterns and or negative mindsets by allowing yourself to ground and become one with Mother Nature, respecting the physical body by detoxing, rejuvenating, and relaxing the body. You will find yourself mentally releasing the thoughts that have kept this experience, the energy that has kept that person at the forefront of your life and experience, right? And so every bit of you should know that through heeding this message, every bit of the karmic wheel, due to the conflicts that were brought upon you, you will see justice. You will be vindicated. Any other messages that you have for my Libras, if they heed and or follow the messages from their ancestors? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we have centering, followed by the Eight of Earth, nurturing, and the last, Amaterasu, the sun. I really don't think you could find a greater understanding of the last two cards. 2, 8, and the sun. This speaks of one's passion behind the love that they have being ignited. One finding themselves balanced, harmonized, and complete, whole, free, beautiful, divine, glorious. Every bit of the energy of a fierce, vocal, vibrant, vivacious woman, right? Like this is the energy of someone who has witnessed the beauty of quietness. They've tasted the essence of sensuality. They've expressed life in a way that spirit has deemed to be absolutely just majestic, right? Like this is the energy of someone whose passion ignited life, right? This is somebody whose will to survive, to move on, to continue has ignited the sacred heart. Man, this energy coming down from this card, this Two of Fire, speaking of centering, balancing, harmonizing, yin and yang, infinity signal. Like I'm, and the fact that it was coupled with the Eight of Earth, which is the divine feminine energy, speaking of someone who is nurturing, caring, loving, thoughtful, right? She is tending to her garden, representative to the fruits of her labor, understanding that with due, with the right type of nurturing, care, love, patience that one puts into the things that they love, that they are wanting to grow and be fruitful, then it will do just that. Every bit of your wishes, your heart's desires coming to pass, a happiness and fulfillment like never before, an illumination to who you are, what you are, and why you are here is ever going to be so clear, so pristine. This is certainly energy that you want to awaken to every day of your life. Truly free of conflict, chaos, closing out chapters, right? Like, I even have this sense of denial that you are going to go through, not wanting to believe that it is true, that all that is happening in your life is happening. It's almost like someone who hit the lottery and don't truly believe that they won, right? There's a sense of you spending time questioning the glory that is before you, but you're being cautioned to understand that everything, and I mean everything that is due you is going to come. Everything, every person that has come against you will fail. Every attack, every conflict, it's almost as if Judgment Day is here, right? It's like you have brought in judgment for all things because you released your thought of it energetically, giving permission to spirit, to the non-physical to handle it, right? But if you continuously think about it, and let's say God doesn't want to intentionally and or purposefully hurt your heart, right? But you certainly still have feelings for a particular someone of your past, even though you may not like them and or don't want them back in your life. No part of spirit is going to bring forth justice while your eyes are watched and or fixated on them, right? It's like the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, when you are guided to leave, to walk, and never to turn back, to not look back. Otherwise, you will turn into salt. You will literally fall, die, crumble right then and there on the spot. It's because you aren't meant to see the justice that is brought upon these individuals. You are not meant to see it. They chose their fate. And it is every bit of this overflow from your heart, this love, this passion for life, for every soul, for every single consciousness that gives you every bit of favor, that makes you the chosen one, that shows you why your eyes are not meant to see everything. It gives way to understanding why you are not meant to hear everything, to want and or know everything. Every bit of you are the world. You are spirit, the non-physical, here in physical manifested form as who you are. Glorify that, knowing that this will be your world. This will be your new beginning, the world in which you have created, manifested, and cultivated into physical form. Dominion over all. At peace like never before. Caring for, nurturing, and loving every bit of the reality in which you've co-created with each and every one of us here. I love you all, Libras. I hope and pray that this message found you right where you are, inspiring you, motivating you, encouraging you, uplifting you to continue to trust who you are and who it is you choose to be, to continue to develop that connection, that relationship with your higher self, with your soul self, knowing that you are guided along the path to the pinnacle of your greatness. Remember, until next time, everything is always working out for your greatest good and the greatest good of all. Namaste.